Today on the show, we have a very exciting guest. Welcome to Katie Mullen, who is a 22-year-old Needham resident. She graduated from Fairfield University in May 2020 with a degree in communications. But giving back to her community has always been important to Katie. So while a student at Needham High School, Katie, received the Ray of Hope Award for the 2,000 plus community service hours she completed during just 4 years. That is very impressive, 2,000 community service hours. So Katie now works full-time at Sungage Financial. Did I say that right? Sungage Financial LLC as a solar finance specialist. But that is not all that Katie does. Katie has superpowers. She has managed to get, I forget the number of people that you've managed to help get vaccinated. And by doing so, Katie has also volunteered and generated sponsorships and funding for the Anaya Tipnis Foundation. So after all that, welcome, Katie.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
So I'm going to start by asking you today a very important question. When you were younger, like younger than you are now, which I have to enunciate on that. What did you think you were going to be when you grew up to being 22?
Well, first off, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here and have the opportunity to talk with you today. That's a great question. When I was younger, I was never one of those kids that I was like, I want to be a nurse or I want to be a firefighter. I had no idea what I wanted to be when I grew up. I was a very creative kid, very excited, always smiling. I knew that I definitely wanted to do something that would help people. And that's been something that has stuck with me ever since I think I was the earliest I can remember. So 3 or 4 years old, I knew that I didn't know exactly what the job title would be, but I knew that I wanted to be able to help people however I can. And the way that I did that was I did a lot of clubs in elementary school, middle school, high school, all the way through college that basically reflected that. A lot of it was in high school, I did a lot of community service hours. And I was, like you mentioned, I was very lucky enough to be honored for that community service in high school. And I also was on student council in high school and worked in college as an orientation leader and an RA and a bunch of other volunteering opportunities. And now I work at, like you mentioned, Sungage Financial LLC in Boston, and I get to help people every single day go solar. So being able to help people has always been my goal. I just didn't know what field it was going to be in.
Great. Nice. And so tell me about what motivated you to help eligible Massachusetts residents get their COVID vaccinations.
So it started with my neighbor, actually. I was helping her secure a vaccine appointment when she became eligible. And the night that I started, I realized how frustrating it was. And I'm sure many other people watching this feel that same frustration where, especially in the beginning, it was extremely difficult to secure vaccine appointments. It was kind of like the Hunger Games where you had to race to the finish in order to secure vaccine appointments. And you could have had all your information in front of you and you would fill out all your information and click the button saying done, and the appointment would be gone. Oh, wow. So yeah, it was it was rough. So I was kind of motivated by that frustration and was determined to find a better way to do it.
Right. And this is for senior citizens?
Yeah, it started out with eligible Massachusetts residents. During that time, it was people 75 and up, I believe, and also people with 2+ comorbidities within the list that Massachusetts has.
Wow. And so, and how did you know that, that was an issue, and then how were you able to help with that?
So I didn't really think about how wide of an issue it was until I started jumping into it. So like I said, I started with my neighbor, and then from there I heard that my other neighbor needed help. So it started out just with friends and family that I knew were already eligible. And once I found out that I had a good understanding of this kind of thing, I started doing research of the ways that I could make it better. And I'm a competitive person with myself. So I always wanted to push myself to help more and more people. So when I realized how big of a demand this was, I decided to make a Google form and make a Facebook post, and it kind of exploded from there through that grapevine and also through word of mouth. People were extremely grateful and wanted to pass that information to other eligible residents. Nice.
And what motivates you to do this work? I know you love helping people, but why this particular one?
The best thing I can say is that it's the right thing to do. I was able to, and still am able to, provide this service for people. And like, we've all been through an extremely hard year. It's not exclusive to one group of people. All of us around the world have had a really rough year. Right. So being able to alleviate a small burden, that just that one thing that I could do personally, to help friends and family, and then later teachers and then strangers, and the fact that I was able in that moment to provide hope is what motivated me.
Yeah, and this is not like your run-of-the-mill kind of let me help out kind of situation. This is a really serious and critical, life-threatening sort of issue, and
Exactly.
People are really suffering. And let me ask you, I'm really curious, how were you able to defeat the Hunger Games situation and, help these people fill out that form? Are you just like a super speedy typist, or like how?
I wish.
How did
that would have made school a lot easier.
Yeah. How did you do this? Like when no one else could get this in?
Yeah. So it started out with, I did some research online. Just, I'm the type of person, when I find an issue, I'm really big. I have to do my research first to understand the full scope of the issue and then find that solution. So I did some research, and online I found that there was an extension that you could add to your browser called autofill, that when you input your information beforehand, it copies the page, and if you input your information and create a specific, it's calling it code would be generous. It's more like an auto population thing. Mm-hmm. So you input all your information beforehand, and when the page comes up, it makes a little noise, and it's like poof, the information's in front of you. Nice. So you don't have to spend time writing your full name every single time, or writing your birthday, or clicking all of those buttons saying, no, I'm not allergic to the vaccine. No, I haven't had a vaccine in 14 days. Right. It auto-populates all that information. So all you have to do is click next on the page. So that's how I was able to, quote unquote, defeat the Hunger Games. But the thing that made it interesting is that it didn't always work. So it still took a lot of time and a lot of effort, but every time I was able to get one, I was like, yes, I got one. So it's, I still, whenever I get one, I'm like, yes. Even I'm over, I'm over 500 people now that I've helped. And after even like the 500th one, I was like, yes, I got it. So the the energy is still there when I'm able to secure one, because I always had that fear, like, what if that last appointment I got is the last one I'm able to get?
Right. Right. Yeah. And what makes the work fun for you? What's your favorite part?
Yeah, I think it goes back to there's two things. The first thing is that, like I said, I'm kind of a competitive person with myself, where I constantly am aiming to do better and better with what I'm doing. So it started out where, like, the first day I was able to do 8 people, and then I was like, I can beat that tomorrow, and
You
then
can
I
beat
could do
my
10.
record.
Exactly. It's like beating your record every single day. And when even when I like didn't beat my record, I'd still like, my parents would be like, you still helped like 15 people today. I'm like, yes, but I didn't beat 20. So my high score was over 40 in one day. So that
Oh,
was
wow.
crazy.
Look at that.
That was a big day.
Yeah.
It was
Like
tiring.
gamer level.
I know
Oh,
that was crazy. But that's definitely one part. But the best part is being able to call people and text people when I'm able to get those appointments.
right.
Um, so just like hearing the relief in the voice of the people say, once I say like, hi, this is Katie, the person helping with COVID vaccine appointments. I wanted to let you know I was able to get you one for next Saturday.
Right.
Or I'm able to get you one at Gillette Stadium or at the CVS down your street.
Right.
Um,
Yes, that would be very convenient. The CVS down the street. I like that.
yeah. There's a lot of navigation that went into all of this, and being able to help people in the, like, because people have full-time jobs and they can own, some people don't have cars, and other people don't have computers to actually secure the appointments themselves.
Right.
So actually, going off that, I was able to connect with the senior center in Needham, and they connected me with people that didn't have computers. So I would take their information over the phone, and sometimes when I was still on the phone with them, I was able to grab them appointments.
Right.
So being able to provide that relief to these people in need, is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I'm assuming that that is what you're most proud of for your work.
It's certainly one of most.
Yeah. Or one of them. What else are you most proud of from doing this?
I'm also most proud of inadvertently raising that $3,000 for the Anaya Tipnis Foundation. I didn't set out to do that. It began where I was just aiming to help people secure COVID vaccine appointments, and from there, people wanted to. They tried to offer to pay me for the work that I did, and I assured them that I'm just a volunteer trying to help my community. And a lot of people wanted to keep that good going. So I thought of what better way to keep the good going than to refer them to one of my favorite foundations, the Anaya Tipnis Foundation. And if they wanted to donate, they could.
Right. And what is your connection to the foundation?
Yeah, so I grew up with Anaya. We went to elementary school together all the way through high school, and we did a lot of the same activities. We played sports together. We were both singers. We both were on student council together for high school, and we had a lot of the same interests and ran in the same circles. And I followed the foundation ever since it was created, and I had never really gotten involved, just appreciated the work that they were doing from the sidelines. And recently, our families were reconnected, and when people when people wanted to give back to me for the work that I was doing, someone asked, like, is there a charity that like I could donate to instead? And I immediately thought of the Anaya Tipnis Foundation, just because of one, my connection to Anaya, but two, also the work that they're doing is so important. I'm not sure if the people watching are familiar with their mission, but they're helping underprivileged individuals get resources to go to college through mentorship and internships, and financial assistance. Like it's incredible what they're doing. And the fact that I could help in some ways, it's the least that I could do.
Right. And for more information, it's Anaya Tipnis Foundation.org.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Highly recommend people look into it if you can help with either providing an internship at the place that you work, or if you want to be a mentor, if you want to donate, please look into it. It's a phenomenal foundation.
Right. And I think that they told you that you've actually raised $3,000.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. I never thought that it was going to get to that. And I was recently told that $3,000 is going to help fund a scholarship through college for one student for a year,
right.
which is, it's mind blowing.
Right. Totally. You're going to have to add that to your 40 COVID appointments in one day. And, the bar is getting high, Katie. I don't know.
I know.
It's
stressful
with yourself like tomorrow. It's getting tough.
Yeah.
So tell me one of your more memorable or most memorable stories from this whole experience.
Yeah. I think the most memorable experience was the day that teachers became eligible. I had this list of teachers that I had prepared in advance, that I had reached out to. And the day they were eligible, I woke up at 2 a.m. and basically got on the website and was able to secure 20 plus teachers appointments for vaccines before they woke up. So early in the wee hours of the morning, the day that they were eligible, they could wake up in that morning and see that text on their phone saying that they had an appointment. So that was the most exciting experience, because a lot of these teachers that I was helping were my former teachers. They were my former choir teacher and my former gym teacher and math teacher and everything in between, from elementary school up until high school. And the fact that teachers are working so hard right now, educating our children and putting their lives on the line, I felt honored to be able to help them and help them in this way.
Awesome. And what are your next steps? What's the plan for the next few months, for the next year?
A lot of it's uncertain. I would say my goal in general for the next year is I graduated from Fairfield University in May of 2020. And like a lot of other college graduates during that time, I didn't have a graduation ceremony, either in person or virtual. So my hope is in the next year that I'll be able to walk across the stage and celebrate my graduation from Fairfield University with my friends and family.
Nice. Awesome. That sounds fantastic. And anything else you'd like to add?
I guess the last thing I want to add is that I'm extremely grateful to have been able to help these 500 plus eligible Mass residents. I'm so happy to have met all of them and be able to impact their life in this way, and also be able to raise awareness for the Anaya Tipnis Foundation and raise money for the Anaya Tipnis Foundation. I couldn't think of a better way to have Anaya's memory live on.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you today.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you as well. Stay safe.
And keep in touch. I can't wait to hear about, what your next amazing accomplishments and escapades.
For sure. I will be in touch.
Sounds good.